Hello and welcome to today's Just Chopsing Podcast. And today we have a band called Gone Savage, along with David and myself.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, guys. They are a two-piece melodic rock band from the Manchester area, I believe.
Originally, so it was Manchester, and now Will is in Bournemouth.
Tells way better than Tez or Cunt.
That is you need to go on.
We started in we gravitated outwards quite a long way, haven't we?
We have, yeah. I think you left, didn't you, in a gypsy caravan?
I did, yeah.
We're from Manchester.
Yeah.
I just drove as far south as I could until I hit some kind of beach, and it turned out to be Bournemouth.
Oh, right, okay.
Very good.
Do you know a couple of old hippie guys then from Manchester called the Aliski Brothers?
Not Syncopation Brothers.
Who?
The Syncopation Brothers, they were famous. Remember them, Will? And
Yeah.
dancers.
Down to the back of the Apollo on every gig.
Every gig you went to. I don't know yours.
No, Aliski they were called. Mike, he had like these really, really massive dreadlocks. He never had his hair cut since he was a kid.
No, I don't really know that.
And Anthony.
Don't think so. You've probably seen them hanging about in Rock World, Banshee, and places like that.
Yeah, probably years ago, because they were like, wow, they're a right pair of black artists, really. I mean, I met them and they were really cool guys, you know.
Yeah.
But they could blag their way into anywhere. You know?
Yeah.
They blagged their way into a backstage of a Rolling Stones concert. They blagged their way. They were hanging around with the guys from Oasis just before they were signed, and they were always out clubbing with them and everything. They could just blag their way into anything. It was really. I started doing some band promo with them actually, and a few years ago. Just total blaggers.
Can't say I've heard of them, actually.
Yeah, they used to Bob back and forth Portugal because they owned a house. They own a house in Portugal, and obviously their dad lives in Manchester, still in flat somewhere. If he's still alive, I don't know if he's still alive now, to be honest. But yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's what
Gone Savage.
Brothers, they were really cool. Those two, weren't they?
These guys were cool as well. They lived in a van most of the time.
Yeah, they're very similar brothers, and they used to dance at the back. I mean, I can remember like way back, Motorhead, going to see all the good old bands, and they'd always be in it. You'd think, well, either they've snuck in with me in the back of my car, because every time I go, they're there. And they're probably thinking, every time I go, that cunt's there as well.
Yeah.
It's like, chicken and egg, isn't it, really? So, but yeah, they were famous.
Yeah.
So famous.
Yeah.
To a point where a proper band, I didn't experience it, would have called them out and said, we've made it. The Syncopation Brothers are here.
Never.
This is probably a band like a UFO or a Saxon or somebody. And they were thinking, they've made it. And they used to come to our concerts, so we made it as well.
Yeah.
Rock World.
Yeah, Rock World. Yeah. Check it out.
Yeah, look at that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
we've been doing a bit of digging on you. Obviously, we were chatting over Facebook and what have you, Ian.
Yeah.
So I know you've got a new album coming out soon, but before that, you've got a single coming out on the 4th of March. Yeah.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so this is the first single from the album. The album is called Past Life. The single is called Life in Black and White. And we are currently trying to, as with most people, trying to land a kind of distribution deal on this. So in the meantime, this is coming out as a single, and this will be released on the 4th of March. What we're doing, I'm trying to do a bit of marketing with this, because at the moment it's going out to all the radio stations. We do an awful lot of contact with stations. We do very well, rather well actually, worldwide. We are a DIY band, so it's just me and Will, so what you see is what you get. And so we're doing that for about 2 weeks. And the reason for that is because we want to give something back. So basically, if people want to listen to this track right here, right now, they'll have to go to a station and listen to it. And currently, like as of tonight, it's about 10 playing it. So, obviously it's going to be a bit of a wash of people, but that was what we wanted to do there. So giving something back there. On the 18th of February, we're going to upload this single to our webpage, which is where we keep a few tracks that people won't get on Spotify. So we're trying to change a bit of the way in which people listen to our music. There's pros and cons. We're going to try this. And this will be basically to people to be able to say, I can afford this at £1, or I can't afford this at £1. I'll give you 0 pence. We're going to do that, and that's purely for our fan base for 2 weeks. And then on the 4th of March, it's up to anybody to get it off wherever they want to get it from, buy it, stream it, that kind of thing. So that's the way it's going to work. And that'll be the first single. And then the album, we're working towards a drop off, regardless of anybody getting involved, the end of May. So that's our kind of,
okay.
Yeah, that's our drop down date, because we can't leave it. Myself and Will, we spoke to another commentator last night. We're so pleased with it, so proud of what we've done. I'm not going to wait until a label comes along, because we'll be waiting here till all those lot are all well dead and buried. So we might as well get on with it. And I can't leave it because we've got a lot of interest. Ironically, and this is what labels always say, you need interest. We have. We've got loads of interest. Honestly, it's gone off the old phrase is the phone ain't stopped ringing, and it hasn't. And when people hear it, they're pleasantly surprised. I was fishing around this album last October, November, and basically with people I knew, good people, as in business people, and they just wouldn't listen to it. They don't listen to it. And now I'm getting like emails and stuff from the same people saying, we listened to it, and yes, okay. And it's quite disheartening in some respects that they don't give you the time of day. Just to, because we're not offended. Everybody's got their own slant on what they think is good. If somebody said to us, we think it's the worst practice. We got Emperor's New Clothes as an example. Then fine, say it. Crack it, and we can all move on. Yeah. It's when you get nothing. That silence. Please slag it off if you want. Don't like it, love it. And so people who do get around to it, we have some great comments. Wonderful comments.
Yeah, that's I find that I find that disheartening as well. I mean, with the podcast especially, that you're putting yourself out there, and when you don't get anything back, it's worse than getting a fucking shit comment or a good comment.
Yes.
It's just like, well, just make a comment or do whatever you want to do, but do something.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Engage with it.
Yeah, so it is, but it's tough to get that engagement.
It's so hard. We work on it all the time. So that's the plan for the single and the album. Artwork's in place, and we've done things differently again. We like to think of ourselves as a little bit of an enigma, because there's just me and Will. And when we do things as in out and about, we'll bring people in to do that. But in the meantime, as for instance, our artwork for the album, it's not your traditional blood and guts. Our video that we're creating at the moment for the single, Life in Black and White, is not blood and guts. It's different. So our whole way of portraying ourselves has gone savage. The name's probably the most aggressive aspect of what we do.
Yeah.
It's weird. So I suppose in some respect, people might say, oh, Gone Savage, they're bound to be some like death metal, throat-killing band. We're not. So it's that surprise element.
Yeah. I was quite surprised on the vocals, really. I mean, I was expecting something like Florence Black to come through, Tristan. And then, I mean, Will's it's quite soft, really.
Yeah.
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 So we've had a lot of comments, haven't we, about I guess people see our age and think, we must be influenced by certain bands. And we've had practically every band from the 80s up to the 2000s on reviews and stuff. They sound like Motley Crue or Bon Jovi or Dokken or whoever else. And it's hard to kind of pigeonhole it, because I think there's an element of hair metal melody.
Definitely, yeah.
There's an element of kind of harder edged, heavy rock in it, and so we're not really classic rock. We've been pigeonholed a little bit as that at one point, but we've tried to move away from that, haven't we?
Yes, we are.
But yeah, we've done what I think is a really good album, and we've got some really good songs. And like you were saying, you just want, you kind of, at first when we were doing it, I thought, you know what, if we do this for ourselves and we're really proud of it and pleased with it at the end of it, I think that's all I'm bothered about. But then when you actually get it, the physical thing in your hand at the end, you think, actually, no, I'd like people to hear it just for the feedback, whether it's good or bad, just to say, okay, you've done this and I think it's good or I think it's shit. Yeah, and, and that's where you become, I said at the moment we kind of become a business that's running a band rather than a band.
Yeah. That's the thing, yeah. Because I actually wrote down Love Caught Me Out, very 80s, 90s hair rock.
Yeah.
So that's what I wrote down earlier. I was listening to it and I was like, oh, okay.
And that's right.
You're spot on there.
You're bang on. And we don't, we certainly don't like to slate our past and put it to one side. We don't do that. I write all the music. Will writes all the melody, all the lyric. It's a bit like we said to another, keep saying commentator. It's a bit of the Elton John, Rennie Soapy kind of thing going on.
Right, yeah.
And I don't really listen to anything when I come to write. But I've got obviously a history and something ingrained in my head that says that I do like my rock and I do like my rap, I do like my 80s vibe. But then myself and Will, we write AOR music as well. We like folk rock music.
You're breaking up on me now. Say that again. Sorry. You like what music?
We write all kinds of variation of music. We have anything from like hard rock to folk.
Oh right, okay. I wasn't sure what you said because you went all wobbly.
Oh, sorry. To folk rock. So we got AOR. AOR is in our background as well. So
okay.
It's really wide range.
Yeah.
But generally never influenced. Never. I've heard I'd like to do something like. It just comes out of my head, as in whatever I'm feeling that day. So
yeah.
Well, I sort of. That's when I listen to it because of the vocal harmonies. I don't know if you've heard of it. There's a South Wales band. I think they had a get together last year or the year before for the 20-year anniversary called Lethargy, and they did a lot of vocal harmonies as well, which is really cool. Which is something that within sort of rock music I hadn't really heard before. Right? I mean, so it's only them and yourselves really that I've sort of heard a lot of that in there, and it's pretty cool. I mean,
that's Will.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to do harmonies like that. I think they really enhance songs. You can build it from one voice to two. I think a couple of the songs we did, Ian sends me back like pictures of him like this because I've sent him like 32 parts of vocal parts.
Okay.
And he's got to then mix them into what is in my mind. I'm like, oh no, drop that a bit, put that a bit more forward. But I love how harmonies can make dynamics in a song.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's surprising what the voice can do in it.
Yeah,
we take it live as well. We don't just, the old adage way backing tracks. That we're not expected to do that. So we do work on the actual live harmonies.
Okay.
So it's very important, to replicate. It's not a case of we're going to throw 1,000 harmonies in here, but we do. We do.
Okay.
We really try.
Do you tend to use the guys that you use on the recordings when you go live as well?
This one we may not. On this particular one, on previous ones we have. Yes.
Okay.
Because this one was so background how we created this. I write the music, Will does the lyrics, melody. I engineer everything here in my studio, so I bring everything together. So I play all in bits and pieces, stems, as people would know. And then I get to a point where I say, okay, I've done all the mixing I can do, and I pass it on to somebody else to finish off. That's what we do. Along the way, I'm a bass player, and I write my guitar, but I can't play the guitar solos. We're bringing other people to finish it off on this album. So we use a young lad, you're probably aware of him, Sam Miller from Bigfoot, Sass Bandits. So Sam did a lot of work on this one. And an original guitar player, second original guitar player from God Savage, Grant Mallison. That's what we do. Will looks after the vocals, so he does all the vocals. I do some backing vocals here, and he also uses Don Genovese to help him with backing vocals. So, we have an outlet for that. I think going forward, we'd like to get it maybe nailed down to maybe having a regular drummer as well. But at the moment, people are brought in. And that's how we do it.
Yeah. Would you ever consider having a permanent band?
Yes, please. The problem we've had, it's not that easy.
No, I know, but...
Oh my God, it's changed over the last, 20, 30 years to a point now where in life, people have that many choices. And it shows, it reflects in their attitude, it reflects in their work ethic. I'm not just an old guy saying this, it's true. So even though we have this product here, I can't get people even to come and jam with me. Okay, either can't do it, won't do it, or feel that it's out of their depth. They'd love to do it. That's the problem. You can't do it. And we've had
It's a different world, isn't it?
It's an absolutely different world. Different world.
Where I remember deciding I wanted to be in a band, and all I had was an advert in, I think, Sounds or something. Rock band wants vocalist, and I went literally, took myself to Salford, into a rehearsal room. I'd never even sung in a mic, and I just went in there and did it. And that's how we did it. And that's how you, obviously, I'm sure I sounded shite, and I'm sure I made mistakes, and we all made mistakes. But now you've got people more likely to be making those mistakes in their own bedrooms and then putting a perfect piece that they've done onto YouTube or something like that. Yeah. So when it then comes to those very same people having to go in and play live, even with other musicians, I think they lose the nerve, some of them.
Yeah.
They do.
Unless you're Justin Bieber, but...
Well, we used to say, like, when we used to meet each week to rehearse, before phones, of course, and the internet, you didn't make any phone calls. It was a given. If the guys weren't there on that given day, those people never came back.
Yeah.
And so we just, as a band, we never had member changes. We just kept coming back 3 times a week, back. No phone calls, no nothing, because we all wanted to do it.
You never had phones then, did you?
No, well, I think 96 got my first mobile. So yeah, you're right. No phones.
No, they were
Bean cans, Heinz, and all that. So
except pigeons.
Pigeons up north, aren't we? Whippets and all stuff. And it's true. It's so true. And so nowadays, there's so many opportunities and so few people. It's shocking.
Yeah. We had another band on it when Rob came on.
Put your hand out the fucking front of your face.
And they were struggling to get a drummer on. Remember, Tez? Autumn Colours.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they needed a drummer.
It took them absolutely ages to get a drummer.
Yeah. Well, they needed one that would. Yeah, they needed one that wouldn't fuck off after 5 minutes. Really.
Yeah.
It was funny because you went for an audition with Schenker, didn't you, Will?
I did.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I remember that. I was working in a warehouse, and my mum phoned me up and said, "Oh, somebody's been on the phone for you called Michael Shetner." And I knew it. This audition tape to Chrysalis. It was when they sacked Gary Barden.
Okay.
And so I said, "What did you say to him?" And she said, "I just said you were out." So I said, "That's a good start, yeah." So I went rushing home, just left and went home, waiting for this phone to ring again. I waited for hours and hours. And eventually, when it did, I thought, I'm going to go and have a bath and I'll just pretend it's not really happening, this. Of course, as soon as I get in the bath, the phone rings. Yeah. I jump out of the bath, leg it downstairs, didn't even get dressed. Past my mum, she's never forgotten that. Me, naked, wet, past her to answer the phone to Michael Schenker. But yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get it. Graham Bonnet got it, but I did get to go and audition with MSG.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it's funny because we've got quite a bit of history because the original band was formed around the first drummer Adair, so a guy called James Ross. So you know Adair, obviously they're back on the scene now. And then we worked with Vinny on a few of our demos, and I was explaining that on our website we've got a track up there that's got Vinny Burns on. He did 3 tracks with James Ross, so there was myself and Will and 2 members of Adair, and that was on the back of their Blood from Stone. Is it Will? I'm sure it was Blood from Stone or.
I can't. Yeah. First time
well, what's that track on your website? It says the 30-year anniversary. What's it all about?
That's Love Caught Me Out. But
okay, why is it a 30-year anniversary?
Because we did it in 1991, wasn't it? And we just re-released it.
Did you do it as Gone Savage or?
Yes.
Oh right, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So
cool.
that session was done.
We're older than Ian Lutz.
Cheers, mate. So we did this session with a guy called Andy Halliwell, and that was Love Caught Me Out. But the next session was with Vinny Burns and James Ross from Dare. So we did 3 tracks: Soul System, which is up on our website. When the Circus Comes to Town, and If It Feels Good, Do It. We'll put them up as well. You'll not hear them anywhere else, but that's Vinny on there. And it's top draw stuff, And again, going back to the day when we were doing it, we was getting chased by labels at the time. Warhammer being an example. Will, as you'll know, that's all the figurines and that kind of good stuff. Warhammer. So
they decided they wanted to be a record. There's a kind of a crossover with that kind of thing,
Era, wasn't it?
Dragons and all that, and this Warhammer company. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
They decided, you know what, we'll form a rock records label, and they really wanted to sign us, didn't they?
They did,
We went to these exhibitions and stood with all these kids who had no idea who we were, sat at a desk signing autographs for an album we hadn't even written, let alone recorded. And it was quite cool, wasn't it? I think it was the NEC in Birmingham, wasn't it? Where
their offices used to be. We did, and the offices used to be in Nottingham, didn't they? Went to Nottingham, and it was just unfortunate. We had a manager who got a bit, how can you say, jilted. He was a jilted manager.
Jilted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His name was John, was it?
Yeah, jilted John.
We got rid of him because he wasn't really doing anything, and then he claimed he'd arranged this deal, didn't he? And then so he got solicitors involved and all the rest of it, and again it became more like a business than a band, and it scared him off, didn't it? So it never actually happened.
And that kind of where we stopped at that point, chaps. So we kind of regrouped families and stuff, and then we had this huge hiatus till about 2010, where myself and Will, we met up again to do the other side that we do, the band called Revolution at Zephyr. That's purely this like surf rock, this acoustic rock, and it's just band in a box. So it's basically me and Will, that's it.
Okay.
And then Gone Savage would have carried on, and then Will came back in to do the Harbour of Hell, didn't you, for me, on 2008?
Yeah, well, you wanted to play live, didn't you, Ian? That was the thing.
Yes.
I'm in Bournemouth now, but I was living on the Isle of Wight at the time. And obviously there's no way I can really be involved in an actual band. And you had the musicians right there, didn't you then? So just get another singer and do it without me, with my, blessing, go forth, young man, and carry on. Yeah. And you did some good stuff, really. And you released the Resurrection EP.
Yes, we did. Resurrection EP came out in 2016 with James Marsh taking lead vocal and guitar on that one. And we did do quite a few gigs around the Manchester and Leeds and northern areas. We're actually down into Nottingham, and things were picking up. But as I said before with bands, I was a bit more stable, but people had too many opportunities to do nothing, should we say. And so, like today, we all have to be good at everything. They couldn't see social media. They didn't want to. They couldn't see why we had to do this. They couldn't see why we had to invest. It was so hard for me to like say, look, things have changed so much, and you'll not get much reward for it either. And so you've got to do it for the love of. Yeah. And I think that's where we are now. Me and Will really, really like and love what we do. We just could do it illegal because we're not doing what we fundamentally we're musicians, and we're not doing that. Yeah. So it's where we're at the moment. Yeah. So that's where we're kind of at the moment. So quite a bit of history with the band.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you've been going 30 years, then
Well, 5 when we started, when it was. Well,
you haven't aged well, that's for sure. Too many late nights.
That's a warm that, Tez. That's a warm
that. We did some good gigs in the first incarnation of Gone Savage, didn't we?
And there's some memorable ones as well. I mean, if you want some laughs along the way, we played a club in Oldham called the Hurricane. And it was actually Alex Higgins, so a good old snooker lad.
Oh, yeah.
It was his club. And it's where Dare used to play a lot. And we went down there to play a gig or two. And we got a good following in Oldham and Ashton and very generally. And Punter lost his teeth, didn't he? Well, he was playing.
Yeah, it was going really well, that gig, wasn't it? I remember everyone's jumping around at the front of the stage and all that. And suddenly this guy starts holding his hands up and pushing people out the way. And I said to him, "Are you all right?" And we stopped, didn't we? And he said something. It's like, and he was saying, "I've lost my teeth." And I was like, when I looked for this guy's teeth, I thought, I've never say that through a microphone. And we found, and he popped them back in, and we carried on.
Oh, mate! Like washed them off in his pint or something.
Oh no! Before COVID, you just got on with it, didn't you?
Yeah. Off in someone else's pint.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got on with it. And then the time, what was the other, Berry, that was a good one, when I had to run off stage because I was going to throw, we weren't drinking, and I banged my head on the back of a van, didn't I? And we had to stop the show because you were playing and I was outside semi-unconscious. I'd run through the fire door to throw. I don't throw on stage, so I'd run through the fire door and hit the van on the way out and bang the head.
To throw up and gets himself locked out by the fire door.
Brilliant.
You had to run all the way back round and the bouncer wouldn't let you in.
Well, that was it. I didn't quite. We managed to get the door open and I came back in, but yeah. And then I could go on.
Yeah, talking about dropping things in people's pints. I used to have a mate way back when I used to drink in the steering Cumbran, and he had a false eye. And then every time he used to run out of beer, he'd walk over and drop it in somebody else's pint. And they'd be like, "You fucking dirty bastard." So he'd be like,
Brilliant.
Yeah. But I was listening to your album earlier, and I saw a track on there called Bulletproof.
Yes.
And I was quite surprised because I was expecting the cover from La Rue, to be honest.
Oh, that was the one from the year before, wasn't it?
Who? Bulletproof?
Yeah, Bulletproof was a track.
Yeah, it's from 10 years ago.
2020, yeah.
Is it? Oh, right, okay. I'm getting mixed up. I think there was a rap or a kind of grime artist brought it out in 2019, which worked quite well because initially did a version, and when we did the hashtags, it worked great.
Yeah, I bet.
Like it was flying around, and it came out about the same time. Sorry, so you're on about a different Bulletproof.
Yeah. From about 10 years ago.
I don't know about it.
No?
I wouldn't bother looking it up either. You played it to me earlier on.
Shite.
Oh, sorry, it's a dance song. It's dance music, isn't it?
That's all right. One bit of old tracks.
David's like that, blink it on.
Oh, listen.
Wayward Sons, Wayward Sons.
Toby Jepson, where are you?
I've broadened a bit wider, haven't I?
You have in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
Now you've come from little angels to those damn crows. So, yeah, you're getting better, Dave.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely. So were you guys
It's a good band. I like them.
cracking?
Oh,
Yeah.
Shane.
Yeah. There's a real good scene in South Wales at the moment. We got a lot of good bands, sort of.
Rebels, Scarlet Rebels.
Yeah, Scarlet Rebels are class. Yeah.
We've got Scarlet Rebels on the radio this week. Sorry, Will?
Are they Welsh? Neck Deep?
Neck Deep, yeah, they're Welsh as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I've not actually heard them.
Yeah.
No.
Disappeared somewhere.
Yeah,
I saw them supporting Don Broco and then they just disappeared.
Yeah, I forgot all about them, to be honest, Neck Deep.
Really?
There's some good new bands coming through as well.
Yes.
So we got we're playing a song from a young band called Zach and the New Men, and they're like 17-year-old kids or something, but you wouldn't believe it to listen to this stuff.
Yeah, it's proper, like bluesy as well, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, good.
Yeah.
And James and the Cold Gun we're playing on Thursday. Oh, this will be out after this, so it'll be out before this, I should say. But yeah, we got Scarlet Rebels also on the radio Thursday.
Yeah.
And on the podcast again. That's the second time for them guys. But yeah, I mean, what's your plans in getting a label? I mean, like you said, you're a do-it-yourself band. Why is it only for distribution or?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I mean, we're trying to as I said before, we're trying to get back to being musicians. So there's quite a lot of these 360 companies now that'll do the whole cycle, and that's what I'm looking for. If I'm quite honest, we're not expected to make money out of it. So I could look at physical. What I'd really like to get is the physical distribution, and with somebody to run all this social media and look after the general day-to-day stuff. So that I can
run your social media for you, mate.
No, they're not. They're going to charge you. But
yeah, exactly.
There's a difference. There's a big difference. They're going to charge you, but they ain't going to do it. So it's finding a way that we can keep that momentum. Now, I and Will, we talked about this quite a bit. We want to get back on feet on the ground. We want to get back on the ground. I can't do that while I'm doing all the business side of things. So from a label point of view, it's purely as simple as somebody to come on and take this away and look after the physical distribution and the marketing. That's all, and we have got a couple of options coming in, but nothing's landed. So the longer it takes, the less I can then go forward with the music, and then less we can go forward with the planning for the gigs.
Yeah.
It's a catch-22. It's got to be. You know, we've got to be able to be released to be able to do that. So, desperate, no. But if worst came to the worst, digital release, get the music out, and then we'd focus on getting the band out to support it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that something Forge would Forge be able to do something like that?
John, Robert, Craig, John?
John, yeah.
I've had a few chats in the past. I've not been recently. I mean, I've been trying to get contact with Keith Lemmy. Also, Vivian's having a look for Roulette, and I've got John Ellis at Off Your Rocker looking as well. So these are the people that would probably be able to help me. But of course, I've got to make sure. They've got to make sure it's best for them as well, you know.
Yeah, of course.
It's a two-way street. It's got to be.
Yeah, it's a funny game, especially, you know, because you haven't really got a band behind you either, so.
Correct. And I want to get that, so then we can do that. Feet on the ground. And we know we'll be able to, we can play. We've played for years. So once we get that on the door, we'll start having opportunities. It'll just naturally occur. And that's what we want to do. Never be the band that goes out every single week. No, but certainly the band that goes out and plays some festivals, maybe plays a series of dates. And that's what we've got. I mean, we've got access to drummers and potentially guitarists to do that, but I'd like something a bit more regular.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how I came back into Gone Savage, wasn't it, Ian? Because you had Hard Rock Hell booked, and then I got a phone call. What was it, a month before, maybe? Not even that.
No,
2 weeks.
3 weeks.
And the singer that you had decided he wasn't going to do it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So you kind of said, you know, do you fancy stepping in?
Oh,
and I just came up there. We rehearsed it for about 5 days, and that was it, wasn't it?
That was it, yeah.
So you're a bit of a glory hunter then, you will.
Yeah. I thought, I'll go up
Comes in on his night, on his horse.
Yeah, go on then. Yeah. Didn't get petrol money to be fair.
You got a decent sort of £3 dinner or something.
Hell, not from you.
You get the steam off mine, didn't you?
I was just thinking, you've got James Kennedy got a label as well, but I'm not quite sure what he does with his label. He's a lad from Wales that we had on one of our podcasts, and his label is called Conic, isn't it?
I know it.
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure what James does, to be honest.
I reached out to Conic, and I'm sure he couldn't put it on the roster for whatever reason.
Who's working for him? Is it Adam Haywood working for him?
Yeah, that's it. And Adam wrote back and said he couldn't put me on the roster.
Oh, right, okay.
He didn't listen to it. So again,
probably not.
No, he didn't. Adam, I've known Adam for a while because I used to work with a company playing on Peter Keevel. So
I heard of him, yeah.
Well, so Peter Keevel's TMR. And Peter Keevel has Scarlet Rebels. He has Revival Black. He has Riot.
Yeah.
He has Big Hand. He used to have a couple. So I was working with Peter for quite a while. And Adam was coming in, and then he went off and did the Walk Bear stuff and got his medal, and he's top of the tree now, which is fair enough. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So he's got Conic. But when I wrote to him in December to say, look, would you mind just have a listen? And if there's anything, he just said, no, there's no room on the roster.
Okay.
It's like turning down something, the next, I don't know, sorry, stupid, the next Billy Joel album without even listening to it. It's, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, if they're only doing stuff for licensing anyway, I mean, it's not.
But not to listen. Is it? Not to listen though, Zeph. I mean,
yeah, like, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, but
there's a brown envelope. You could have something in it. We could have fuck all of it.
Yeah, I know. What's in the box?
Exactly. Not looking at it. So, but that's what we tend to find. And then once the hysteria and people start getting involved, they come back.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. I'll be giving it a good old one of them.
Yeah, that's not very fair to James, though, then, is it? Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not. I'm not saying to Adam. I'm talking about people in general who don't give you the time of day. And then when things get rosy, they'll come back. You know, that's I'm not specific to Adam. I've got a lot of time for him.
Mm-hmm.
There's no problem there. I just find it a bit weird why you wouldn't at least listen to something.
Yeah.
Even if it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, that just goes back to where we started, really, isn't it?
Exactly. Give you
just not getting that response, and
no,
you know,
no, and then you could be missing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be.
Don't know. So it wasn't personal at all.
But, maybe it's because you're not 20 with boobs and...
It is. That's a factor. We're not silly.
Looks at me.
I mean,
Not 20, but it does have kind of.
Go on, Will. But it's true. It's true. We do know that we're not bloody. Well, we're of an age. We're not delusional.
Yeah.
There's a marketing appeal that has to be, like when I said about Sam Miller.
Yeah.
He's got rockstar all over him. He's a 20-odd kid. The loads, frontiers, Bigfoot, the lot. We are not that, and so I do get that. I'm not.
But if you look at the rock scene at the moment, I mean, there is a lot of older bands coming through now.
There is.
Whenever I go to a festival, there's more people my age than younger.
Yeah.
Definitely. My age and older. And the acts you actually watch, they tend to be my age and older as well, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Like you said, you've got some younger bands coming through, like those damn Crows and Scarlet Rebels and people like that. But
they've been around for years as well.
But yeah, they have. Yeah, and they're not exactly super young. They're a little bit younger.
Void, didn't it? Used to be Void.
Yeah, Void.
Yeah. So they've got a bit of a history.
Wayne's been plugging away for years, hasn't he?
Yeah. Wayne.
Yeah. Give him a
and Gary. So the other thing as well is that, as Dave said there, what you found with our age group, we've got more disposable cash as well.
Definitely.
We're not talking about millionaires. We're talking about we have more.
Yeah, you need to find some older musicians, I guess. Stop looking for kids.
And the thing is, the older ones are bloody worse because they're all slippers and pipes and shit like that.
Yeah, that's the trouble in it. You know what I mean?
Give up, don't they? We'll never give up, but they give up.
Yeah, but I think you need a band, to be honest.
Yes,
definitely.
Listening to you talk, I mean, you need a band. You need a band behind you. I mean, you've got a product. You've got a good product, and then you just need to be able to get out there and play it. I think.
100%.
And the only way you make people sit up and notice is to get out there and play it. It's no good sending it to fucking local rep or whatever. You need to be on stage playing it, like clubs, pubs.
That's where we'd like to go.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. I mean, there's a little tale. I'll take it now. We talk about it. When Dare started doing their first gigs, they played in one place called the Marple Squash Club in South Stockport. Marple area, and they only played there. So if you wanted to go and see Dare, you go there. That's it. And there was people queuing up to get in that place after, say, 6 or 7 gigs there. You couldn't get in, rammed.
Yeah.
And everybody knew that if you want to go and see Dare, you went there.
If you dare.
If you dare. so it's getting that interest, and like I say, we are a bit of an enigma. Because people think, well, how is Ian and Will doing X? Hard Rock Hell is an example. How are they doing all this shit? It's because we work hard, because we do things, and because we do things slightly differently. So that's what we'd like to do, get a model where people will come and see us because it's a Gone Savage show. And they know what they're going to get. And that's what we're trying to.
Yeah. And you can't organise it without a band either.
No, I can't. Which I'm going to create if I can get off this. Love you guys. If I could get off this bloody social media.
Even us now.
Hey, I'm getting off, but I'm getting off there.
You see what I mean? It's so hard.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me it's hard. If I pull my ear out sometimes doing this podcast, I mean, we started it because we love music, and we thought, we never did. We didn't think anybody would listen to it, to be honest.
No, we just started it just for us to, because we were catching up, weren't we? Because we're cousins and we were talking anyway. And we said, let's record it and see if anybody wants to listen to it. So my daughter listened to it and my cousin. And then we said, wouldn't it be cool if we could get some people on to interview him? You know what I mean? Because I'm always a fanboy and I love meeting people and chatting, music and what have you. And that's kind of like how we started growing from that, really.
It's a good product. I mean, I listened to Simon McBride when he did.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good product.
He's a nice guy, actually.
I don't really know him, but obviously I listened to it. And then I got to know him. So it was really good. And I said to you, well, what a nice bloke.
Yeah.
You know, he's gone from like, you know, this would be commitments, and he's gone through all that with chappie from Savage. What's the man called? Vivian Campbell, and all that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So you know, it's like, and when I look at your views, I look at your hits, and all that kind of stuff that I obviously look at on social media. You do all right. You do.
No, not really. I don't think we do.
But I think you do. It's over. Well, I keep my eye on what's kind of going on, and I never heard of you till about 3 months ago.
Okay.
And when I see people that follow up and look at what you're doing, these are people that I've been around on the social side for a long time, and I know that they're good players, and they're following you guys and they're looking at what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. I definitely know that.
So by definition, you must be doing something right.
Yeah.
And I think you are.
Yeah, we're definitely doing okay.
Yeah.
But even though our numbers don't show it, and I do
right.
say to David, there are people watching us.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact.
But it's that numbers, isn't it? It's the old vanity, isn't
It's
it?
because you do your head in over the numbers, and you shouldn't.
It is. It's numbers of vanity, and it's comments of sanity. It's what Will was saying before. You know, if one person says it's fantastic, it's better than nobody saying nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
Or even one person saying it's shit. If somebody said it was shit, then somebody else could go, "Oh, I'll have to have a look at that."
Like your dad.
Yeah, like my dad. My dad said it was shit.
He did. Yeah. That was on episode 3, and we're now on 93, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, this will be 93. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. So we still keep doing it anyway.
Yeah, nobody listens to my dad anyway.
Yeah. Have you watched any other episodes though? You know, is he saying you're getting better?
I don't know. I don't really talk to him that much, so he just sent me a message saying, "Oh, what's that podcast you got? It's fucking boring."
At least you got a comment. One of my families commented on my album. On my last one. You've done well there, Tev.
So, yeah, I'm patting myself on the back.
Well, you know, if somebody's listening and somebody likes it, that's all I'm bothered about with our music.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
well,
cool.
I'm going to tell you a story now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, hopefully you can get it sorted, you can get your band, you can get out there gigging, and we'll see you out on stage somewhere.
That's it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a story anyway, so if you stop talking.
Right.
Is it a good story?
Well, it's not bad. It's not really great, but it's about a man who divorced his wife in record time after her song choice at their wedding sparks a family row.
Oh.
Now, a man divorced his wife after she requested to dance to she actually did dance to it. I mean, this was in India, I believe. No, it wasn't. It was in Baghdad. I thought it was going to be in India. But the woman requested a Syrian song called Mesetara by Lamis Khan. And the title translates to, "I am dominant or I will control you."
Ooh.
So obviously, being in Baghdad, the groom's parents took offense to the bride being dominant and controlling. And dancing to the song at the wedding, that they made him get divorced.
It would have been. Wow. She should have put a dog collar and dragged him around on his all fours as well in front of the parents. And the wedding party, that'd be even better.
Yes.
So if you ever get married to a woman who wants to play an "I Am Dominant" song,
I'm up for that.
I know you are, Dave.
Love it.
We know you're a bit of a wimp. Black belt of karate, and he has a woman bossing him around. Fuck's sake.
It's the only way forward, isn't it? At least I admit to it, and I'm honest.
You know which side your bread's buttered, don't you? There.
You definitely do. Whatever side she butters, yeah.
And if we're honest, gents, we're in the same thing boat.
We're all the same, mate. We all joke about it, but we all got a big thumbprint on our head somewhere.
Definitely.
So, all right then, guys. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for telling us who you are, and thanks for sending me your album. Well, David sent me your album, but I did listen to it, and it's pretty good.
Cool. It's really good, guys. I listened to it twice all the way through.
Thank you.
A lot more than what's his face did.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Oh yeah, Haywood.
Yeah. And I've written down the ones. I've written down my favourites as well.
Yeah, we don't want to be slagging off Haywood, mate, because he'll cancel us.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Adam. Sorry, Adam, if you're watching.
They know we're only joking.
It was Ian's fault. Ian started it.
He did, yeah.
He's off. God, he's gone.
Yeah, I was going to say my favourites. Touch of God.
Oh, good lad.
Oh, good one. I like that.
Yeah. Redemption Song.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bob Marley. Good old Bob Marley.
Life Incendiary as well. They were my three.
My three favourites you've got there. My
Yeah.
favourites, yeah.
There we go.
So you must be more AOR then, Dave, surely.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they lean that way, don't they? Well, certainly Redemption Song and Life Incendiary. Brilliant.
Good. Fantastic. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gutted that Redemption Song wasn't Bob Marley and fucking Bulletproof one by LaRue, so...
You thought it was a covers album.
I did.
Who the fuck are these two?
The shit from Spotify.
Yeah.
I listened to the Spotify stuff as well, actually. I thought that was quite good too.
Yeah. Oh,
I
thank
quite
you.
enjoyed that.
Thank you.
To be honest, I listened to that.
If you listen to it another 3,000 times, we'll be able to get a
You're joking, aren't you?
You might get tuppence out of it.
I couldn't say you might get a cup. Yeah. Fantastic.
All right, then, guys. All right, cool. Nice to meet you, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
And let me know when the album's coming out, or when you got something else coming out, and we'll try and play something on the radio.
Brilliant. Thank you for supporting us, and thanks for having us on the programme.
That's
pleasure.
fine, mate.
Coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much, Jen.
Good fun.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Right. All the best of luck, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right,
guys.
cheers, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.